Woo! Ladies and gentlemen,
Woo!
boys and girls, people of the internet, do we have a sweet treat for you today? We got the man, the myth, the legend, the bodybuilding, business building, brain, beautiful man machine coming back out of the bold room, ready to share with us at his rightful seat as co host on The G.R.O.W. Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus Heflin's back today.
I did not realize I was going to get that, sir. Surprising me on a thirsty Thursday. Let's get to work. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Grow. We are honored, excited, and feel absolutely pumped that you're hanging out with us here on this fine Thursday morning. Coach Kyle, we had a dynamic week in the bold room, man. Step 3, I know it's step 4 for you. I'm 1 week behind, right? You're always leading the way, man. Always leading the way.
Yeah,
And
thank you for saying it because I was going to throw it in there.
if I talk trash to myself, he's not allowed or able to, and it really helps and benefits my daily. And guys, here's what I'll say: I taught the path is in the math this past week, and man, math in groups. Let me just tell you, riveting. I mean, the crowd was going wild. Man, sometimes that math, sometimes that foundational building, we sleep on that a little bit, and yet. There was one common theme, Kyle, at family reunion that I heard Gary and all of our top guys saying, and it was, "It's time to get back to the fundamentals, to the foundationals, right?" And as we were going through numbers and everything like that, I had somebody stand up, and they were a speech therapist at one time, and they kind of opened my mind up, man, because what's that saying that we used to use quite a bit? Change the way you look at things and
Is it the things you look at change?
believe so, sir. I believe so. And, I had so many people in the room that day telling me what they could and couldn't do. And I was so fascinated. I was like, you can't door knock. Tell me more about this. Like, is it a leg thing? Like, is it cardio? Because hey, if it's cardio, I know, I understand. Right. And
Here, yeah.
it was just so much kind of captivated, like close-mindedness. Like, okay, where's this coming from? And she told me, she said in speech therapy, it's not necessarily the reps of the words being said. It's first the interpretation of the words from the page into the mind and then how to speak them, right? So I thought I would do a little something this morning with you and challenge your math brain. Are you prepared for this quiz?
Here's the thing, Marcus. Full
Talk to me.
transparency. I wear a Garmin. Shout out. I would love for you guys to sponsor me. I wear a Garmin, and in it they have this thing called a body battery, and they essentially show like where you are, energy, for the day. And
Yeah.
this week, I have not started above a 30% out of 100. So when you ask about math and am I ready? I'm ready, buddy. I'm in the river. Let's let's go, man. Let's see what you got up your sleeve. Because I'm pumped, dude. Because this is a very sensitive, I don't know, sensitive. It resonates with me. Because what we talk about in step 4 with the path being in the math is some of those limiting beliefs. And I used to be that guy. Like, I'm not a math person. I don't like numbers, all the things. And now I teach business planning clinic around the nation because I
Yep.
spent time practicing and changed my internal representation of who I am. So I'm pumped up, buddy. What you got up your sleeve today?
Well, the good thing is it's not a math lesson. It's more of a lesson around how our minds work and work differently. Okay. So that's even better. Even if you get the answer wrong, man, we're going to rally and be okay with it. So real quick, man, I'm not going to show you anything, and everybody playing at home, I would love for you to really analyze how your mind works when we go through this exercise. Okay. And there's no wrong way, by the way. I'm going to show you 3 examples. There may be 38. And yet, Kyle, if I gave you the equation 97 plus 43, I want you to add that up real quick. What you
I'm
got?
there. 140.
Perfect, sir. Like flying colors, passed, wonderfully done. Let me ask though, when you got the equation in your head, what did your mind do? Take me step by step on how you did the equation in your brain and not on paper.
I got as close to 100 as I could get because 97 was close to 100.
Okay.
And so I knew that was easy.
So
So
what'd you do
I moved the
methodically?
3. I moved the 3 to make 100, and that left me with 40. And so I was like 140.
Okay. So if I were to articulate what you did on paper
Mm.
Telling me
Don't
that
want to
you
get in this brain.
let me see here. Let me make sure I did this correct, and you tell me, buddy, okay? Is that what your mind did?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Everybody playing at home, um, who did that? Who did this exact play? All right, now let's have a little fun. Let's have a little fun. Kyle, have you ever seen anybody do this where they take the 7 plus the 3, they carry the 1, and then they do the 1 and the 9, which makes 10. 10 plus 4 equals 1/4, so 140. You ever seen that?
That's how we're learning with my first grader right now.
Okay, perfect. Still 140, by the way.
Mhm.
Still 140. Can we agree?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I said they took the 1 plus the 9, they made a 10. Pretty much I'm articulating it just like that. You'll see it here, right? And then that's how they get there. Well, here's another example. 97 plus 43, I take the 90 and the 40, I make 130. I take the 7 plus the 3, I make a 10. And all of a sudden I'm still at 140. That's three different maths. And you know what? I bet in the comments, there's going to be some people like, well, I do it this way, and my head went this way, and this, da, 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 da.
Mhm.
I'm sitting there in this classroom, and we're going through the bold material, and this woman offers up her perspective on speech therapy, and that the mind is interpreting information differently. And then my mind also goes back to Jordan Freed when he said
Mhm.
these magical words: "No one is uncoachable. It's
That's right.
if the coach has the patience in order to blast through and make that impression and find out how their mind works." As leaders, a true goal of all leaders is to help people, and coaches, by the way, is to help people think differently about their approach to life, finances, anything that's important to them. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and I did this play in the room and I just put it up on a whiteboard and everything. And man, I literally had 5 different versions of math,
For sure.
right? Right. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, so many people get stuck in one way of doing something. And if that one way doesn't work 5 times, 10 times, something, they just say, oh, that's not for me. That's not the way that I am. Well, I'm just different. Right. And all these things. And I had somebody, and this all stemmed from one conversation earlier in the day. And the lady rose
Mhm.
her hand. She goes, yeah, door knocking doesn't work. I'm like, your boy's taking over 20 listings from door knocking. I need to know more, right? I mean, we're in a new state, so hey, okay, maybe there's rules I don't know about. Um, maybe if the COVID thing scared everybody, maybe people just don't answer doors. She's like, I knocked 5 doors and nobody, did it. I'm like, okay. So there's two things, two ways that you can be successful. One, volume, right? Just a massive amount of data before you can actually know if it's a win or loss. Number two is the effectiveness of what you're saying. Very much like selling a house, price and condition. And yet the way that we approach different methods, guys, you don't have to approach it like a Kyle Evans, like a Marcus Heflin. You don't have to approach it like that. However, find out how you can get there, and
Yeah.
don't let one equation, because Kyle does this funky thing where he gets close to 100 and then adds 40. I've never once thought about that in my head, right? Never would have crossed my mind to do that. And yet, if all he did was tell me that one way, and I only thought that that was the one way to accomplish this, I may shut down. I may
Man,
never find out how to get to 140. And yet,
so good.
when we explore by doing, then we can find our style to get to the result that we're looking for in our lives. And I thought it was really cool to understand that in speech therapy plus math, our minds literally analyze it differently. So don't get frustrated if you've only been given one way to analyze it. Go explore, see who else is doing it, see maybe a different approach to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, what Marcus Heflin is talking about is some Cajun wisdom that we all know deep down south, and it's that there's more than one way to skin a gator, boy.
That's
There's more than one way to do something, man. Taking this to one-on-ones, right? Because I do, like you, we coach agents one-on-one style consulting, mastery coaching, and we were just in this kind of just murkiness for. We've been working together for a couple months, and I'm like, man, listen. I need you to figure out what it is you actually want.
Yep.
Because what I feel like is happening right now is I am coaching you to a beautiful business that I see. And the last thing I want to do is build you a business in my image, because that is
Mm.
not you, not your desires, not your goals, not your dreams, not what gets you up and excited in the morning. And it's just like guys, you don't have, if you see one way of doing it, it doesn't have to be you. If you see one path, that doesn't have to be your path. But to Marcus's point about how we interpret challenges or equations, I think that one assumption needs to be the baseline, and it's that you have to figure it out.
Yeah. Yes.
Quitting is not an option, right?
Full,
And
full
like
send.
for door knocking, it's okay, cool. It didn't work out the 5 doors that you knocked or whatever way you're doing it. You can't give up though. That's the
No.
rule. Because if you can't give up, you're going to figure out a way to make it work, or a way that works for you. The problem is a lot of us, we give up before we ever unlocked the cheat code that's right for us.
Are you asking yourself, man, I hope this works out. I'm going to give it my best shot. Or are you saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes for this to succeed?
Yeah.
It first starts with that mindset, and then the open-minded approach to different tactics, different ways of going about things. Um, the other layer of that, sir, is that if one way of thinking is not my normal way, and it's
Mhm.
going to take me a little bit of time to figure out how the hell Kyle Evans added 3 to 97 and then took that, like, I
That's why I'm
what?
super fast at math. No big deal.
I get it. I get it, Rain Man. And like I'm just sitting there thinking, like, if that's the only way I was taught, it's going to take me more reps to figure that out, because that's not how my mind works.
That's right.
So maybe the first time I do something, I shouldn't expect greatness. Maybe it's going to take me 10 or 20 times. Maybe it's going to take 200 doors, right? And full disclosure, I think I made a couple agents mad because I wouldn't settle for the excuses. And I reminded them, I was like, you didn't hire a best friend. Sorry. You can go home and get mad at me. But if you wake up tomorrow and you're a better agent, that's fine. Use that anger as motivation. Go get a listing and in spite of me. Like, you do that, right?
Tackling fuel.
And yet it's one of those that, man, our minds work differently. So give yourself some patience, because sometimes in the bold room, I get these bold graduates that say, I've heard this for 5 years and I just now got it. I just now understand what that means. I just now took what I needed to take from this training, from this seminar, from whatever I'm in. And now I'm planning. I've been hearing this for years, and now I was just finally ready to hear it. Sometimes it
Man.
takes reps. That's it.
Only Marcus can take an addition equation and then tie some beautiful life lesson about overcoming and working things out on top of it. And what is your internal representation? Man, it's funny. Like, it kind of goes back, for me at least, one of the things that I'm taking away from this or reminded of in this talk is we got to sometimes suck at stuff
Dude, yes.
before we're good at it. And the internal thought or the story is, I suck at this, therefore I don't like it, therefore it's not for me, instead of I need more reps, more time, more focus on it.
Nobody likes to suck at anything. Like,
No,
it just
bro.
like, if I'm terrible at a task, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, man, I love waking up and going after this. Ah, yay."
This is the best. Failure is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So that's why you have to tie it to a bigger reason, right? The person who went out and knocked 5 doors, do you think their why was actually big enough?
No.
Not. Their mindset wasn't locked in on a succeed or all else, right? Like, they didn't set the limits in their mind on what they were willing to do. They just said, let me see if the pool temp is the perfect temp for today. Let me dip my toe in. It's not ever going to serve you at a high level, right? So anything that you do, give it 200 reps,
Yeah.
right? Give it 200 doors, give it 200 calls, give it 200 somethings,
Mhm.
and at minimum, and see what happens. Because part of the journey that we teach in Bold is that you have a daily journal. And we're not talking about, dear diary, the sun was beautiful today. No, it's more of, I made 50 calls and they are horrible. And yet my feeling at call 1 was fear, hesitancy, nerves, not knowing what I was doing. And by 50, while it still sucked, at least I had a little bit more confidence, right? I felt a little bit better. I kind of got a little bit more of the conversation down and frameworked. And then
Marcus,
just see,
this is so good. And what I'm thinking is this, buddy.
go get
Because
them.
of exactly what you're talking about, we have a real life scenario inside of our team on what you're
Oh,
talking about here.
yes,
We
we
have
do.
a guy,
Yes, we
his
do.
name is we just tell him his name. His name's Chris, and
Yeah.
Chris is starting his journey, or has been on the journey of being an inside salesperson, someone who's just banging out the phones, making calls. Chris's first couple weeks were not that awesome.
No.
There were some wins, but not what he desired or us desired. And so Marcus, me, our team coach Brett, we all gave him different challenges, different things to look into, different ways to get better. And shout out Dustin Kimberly for also raising his lid, poured into our people. But we gave him these challenges. And let me tell you, it has not still not been that long. I mean, maybe a month or two tops. And it says, this is a message from yesterday afternoon. Safe to say my conversion rate is going up. 1 hour of dialing, 25 dials, 9 contacts, 2 appointments set.
Let's go.
Two
Let's
appointments
go.
in 1 hour, bro. Like 2 appointments in 1 hour. Guys, if you spent 2 hours of lead gen each day and you were setting 4 appointments and you were doing that 5 times a week, that's 20 appointments per week.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're going to have the business you desire at 20 appointments per week? Let's say half of them show up, Marcus. That's 10 appointments held. Let's say you take half of them. That's 5 pieces of business per week times 52, 200 and what, 50 something, 260? Because Matt Kyle's good at math, wink. 260 deals. Come on, man. But that was practice. He had to suck at it first. And he's still on the growth journey. That's not where he wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what is the story that you're telling yourself? Is it, I'm going to figure this out? I'm going to go look at resources. I'm going to go find a model, a system, someone who's done it before, and I refuse to quit? The future you deserves it.
I'm curious how many times our results show up because we were told that certain metrics are the standard or are the way that you can do it. I had an epiphany with my TL group. I had
Shots
a
fired.
TL, right? I had Jason Huck. He's been on the show. Good buddy, amazing TL. He showed up and coached our TL group up here, and he led with, yeah. So 2025 is the year of the appointment. I'm normally having, and here's my team. I come in, I get to know them a little bit, the whole thing, and they're like, we would really like to go after the 21040. That hideous. That statement alone is hideous. 21040, cool. Y'all don't need to worry about 210. The 40 is the appointments per month. That's what we would really like to. Okay, well, we're not even getting close, guaranteed. And let me look at the last 2 months, and they weren't. We choose to take 40 appointments every single month relentlessly. That is our minimum standard. That's the energy that we're looking for. Jason got on, and within the first 2 minutes, he goes, "Year of the appointment. I saw a dip in my appointments in the third quarter of last year. I was used to about 60. It dropped down to 40. So I'm really making sure that I get back up." And the entire team was like, what did he just say? 60 appointments? I'm curious because some TL, some agents out there, they've heard what's supposed to happen or the bare
Mhm.
minimum that other people are doing or whatever. Set your own standards. If you want to set 2 appointments a day, you can. It may take you time to figure out the lead sources and the skill set and the volume in which to do it, and yet you can do it. If somebody else has done it before, you can do it, and it's repeatable and duplicatable. Now, just by hearing Jason say that this week, they're on course to exceed 40 appointments based upon their last week's performance. It just takes somebody opening up your mind a little bit and letting you have permission to succeed bigger than what your mind is thinking you should succeed at right now. Just be there mentally first and then let your actions follow. Put some feet to them prayers, right? And when you do that, things open up big for your life and your business.
All this based on a math equation today.
I am a nerd. I love me some math, man. I love it.
That's awesome, man. Guys, I trust that you took something from today, man. And it's our honor and our joy to be here with you guys and
Right.
kind of give you uh one of the blessings I think of this show, Marcus, is it's kind of like our video journal of just what's going on in our life and our world, like
A
each
little bit.
day.
Yeah.
And so, like,
Yeah.
hey, man, here's something cool that I pulled out of the ecosystem and I want to share with you because it's been rattling around my brain for 24 hours and I've got to get it out.
Yeah.
Like, thank you guys for being on this journey with us. And, it's
Well,
fun.
the cool thing is if we were all best friends and we got together once a week and did that whole thing, right? Anybody and everybody that learned something and brought it forward, then we all grow and we
Mhm.
raise our lid together. So, we trust that we're raising your lid out there. And if we're not, feel free to call us out. Be like, y'all got to get better.
Yeah, dude.
You can hold us accountable, guys. I promise you, we're open to that and want to and desire to get better and choose to.
Mhm.
So, Coach Kyle, I appreciate the opportunity to come back and hang out, man. I'm excited for tomorrow as well, where we get it. I had to pay for a pass today. I've been missing so many, but Bold is wrapping up soon, and I'll be back fully present soon. But buddy, happy Thursday to you.
Happy Thursday, Marcus. Any final thoughts for the people out there today?
Yeah, don't let past experiences and results dictate your future experiences and results. Decide to embrace the new and embrace a new process, a new way of doing math or a new way of doing the approach, and see what new results that you get.
Spoken right there like a champion that he is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, Coach Kyle, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Coach Marcus, Nashville, Connecticut, all the things. We will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Go have a good
Woo!
one.